Charged up. Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, a.k.a. Mazuma TV, back at y'all with some more boxing talk, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive night. I hope you had a great day overall, man. I'm back at y'all with some more boxing talk. We're going to be speaking about Diego Pacheco disrespecting Mexican fighters. We're going to get into that video and exactly what our thoughts are on the situation. We're going to be speaking about the rumor that's going around that Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia may possibly fight in the rematch September 5th for unification in the 147-pound division. Then, of course, we're going to get into some open boxing topics. But before we get into all of that, if y'all could please hit the like button on the way in. That'll be very much appreciated. We on the road to 4K. We well into the 3,400 mark, looking to hit that 3,500 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. I'm already seeing a couple comments in the building thus far. Shout out to my boy Slime El Tortador in the building. What's going on? He said, what's the word, Mark? Shout out to the Mazuma Nation. Absolutely. I appreciate you for coming through with the first comment of the day, brother. Salute, salute. My boy Lorenzo and a motherfucking Benzo showing love from all the way out Tokyo. What up, brother? What's going on, man? I took a nap. I had to eat. And by the time I looked, it was 11:12. I'm like, oh, shit. So, and after some, great dialogue or a monologue, I was talking to myself, I guess. I'm here. Tricks, what's going on, brother? He said Pacheco speaking facts. We're going to get into it. My boy Chris Maldonado in the building. What up? What's going on? That's my high school brother right there. Shay, what up? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Slime said, nigga, I was waiting on you to go live. That's why I'm here first. My apologies. I apologize for the inconvenience, but everybody know when it's like between 10:30 to 2 in the morning, it's Mazuma time, baby. No, like if you know I'm gonna go live between them times. You feel me? So it is what it is. It was 11:05. I texted chat like, nigga, we gonna live. My apologies, brother. I took a nap on this sofa right here, and it took me a little bit to get my bearings together. After a good pizza, we back. I hope everybody's feeling well. I hope everything is well with you and yours, man. Shout out to the nation. Shout out to the mob as always, man. Diego Pacheco got the talking, man. Oh, man. We definitely going to speak on this for sure. Huh? Okay, whatever. So I'm going to let a few more people come in here, man. Y'all go ahead and hit the likes, man. We don't be getting very much likes on these lives, man. I'm trying to figure out why. Like, these motherfuckers want to copy my moves. Niggas want to duplicate my takes and all that shit, but don't ever want to show love. Shit is absolutely insane in my opinion, but we don't, even though the love free, motherfuckers still don't want to show no love. You feel me? So I don't know, man. I don't be understanding these dudes, but we gonna make it do what it do regardless. You feel me? Go ahead and put this on subscriber only mode, because if you're not subscribed to the channel, why would we care about what you gotta say? Simple, man. Simple. You say you ain't hear what he said, but I know you gonna hit us. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Absolutely. Chris said, hit the like real quick, y'all. Absolutely. It don't take much. Like, it literally, imagine how hateful you gotta be to know that all you gotta do to help the channel is literally take your fucking thumb, click the fucking thumbs up, and just go about your day. It's literally would take a fraction of a second, but I guess that's a little bit too much for people. So we're about to be 5 minutes in, so we're going to get straight into this conversation. Now, Diego Pacheco, somebody who just came off of a pretty tough outing. You know what I mean? He was supposed to face Hamza Shiraz for a vacant world title from what I understand, but he had pulled out for his own reasons. I don't remember exactly what the reasons were, but since then, Pacheco just been laying low and I guess waiting for his next opportunity. And, Diego Pacheco's a young dude, man. He's undefeated. You know what I mean? not even his late 20s yet, but I remember he had ended up fighting this strong ass African dude. I think his name was like Kevin Sajo, something of that nature. And it was like, you know, I had him winning. You know, Sajo was an undefeated fighter in his own right. You know what I'm saying? I remember he definitely had a high knockout ratio. So he was a dangerous, tough competitor that, for real, Diego could have went around if he wanted to, but he's been challenging himself lately, fighting guys like Trevor McCumbee, who, even though he got stopped by Caleb Plant, definitely rocked Caleb Plant a few times. Steve Nelson, you know, Steve Nelson was a little inactive, but he was undefeated in his own right. And pretty much a tough outing for just about anybody. Fought Selecki, who done been around the block time and time again. So Diego Pacheco has been taking the right steps and growing with the right fights. You know what I'm saying? They're building him up properly, but had a tough fight against Sajo. I think he had gotten dropped. He had gotten dropped in like the last round, I believe, of the fight. Or like it was later on in the fight. I forgot what round it was. It probably was like round 9 or something. And you know, since then he's been a little quiet. I remember he was supposed to fight Hamza Shiraz for some type of title, but Diego had pulled out for whatever reason. I'm actually looked that up. What had happened with Hamza Shiraz? Yeah, he had withdrawn from negotiations to face Hamza Shiraz for the vacant WBO super middleweight title. But they never said why. They said that he'll move on to another significant fight, but we haven't really heard about this significant fight from Diego Pacheco since then. And if y'all been following the channel and knowing exactly who I am, y'all know I've been rocking with Diego Pacheco for a minute. You know what I'm saying? I've always been a solid fan of his. You know, I've always liked how, you know, he's been moving and, you know, certain performances. He's definitely done his thing, but he actually did this interview, man. And I don't know exactly who it was with, but goddamn, Diego, like the one thing you don't want to do as a Mexican, like a Mexican American, is to, you know, make the Mexican fan base feel a way about you. And this dude, I didn't know that Diego Pacheco didn't have a filter like this. Like, you know, he's always seemed to be cool, chill, laid back, and seems like he was pretty, you know, reserved and really wasn't as opinionated as he was in his podcast. But I guess he was feeling himself. I don't know what it was. And we're going to get into exactly what he said in the videos. But, you know, he even provided his own comment under this, and, you know, he provided some context. So we definitely going to get into this. Bethanuel, what up? Anaj, what up? This nigga said Mark Al-Sheik. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I feel the vibes, though. Niggas is wilding. Anyways, so let's get into this post right here. And y'all see the quote from Diego Pacheco. They can fight, but they don't have that much skill. And this was Diego Pacheco's thoughts on Mexican-born fighters. Now, I've gotten calls before, and they were like, yo, Mark, like, you know what I mean? Like, just some, you know, words of advice, man. Just keep it, you know, just keep it cool on the Mexicans, man. You be a little tough on the Mexicans. I'm like, word? For real? I never really thought I was. A lot of my favorite fighters today are Mexican. My favorite fighters of all time, some of them are Mexican. So I never really thought of it that way. So I'm going to just let Diego do the talking, and then I'm going to provide my opinion on this shit. So let's hear what he got to say.
Everyone loves the guys born in Mexico. Like, they just love them. I don't know why.
Because they're really good.
He said he started that off wrong, off rip. Oh man,
Cruz. I mean,
Cruz is incredible.
The thing is, like, they can fight, but they don't have that much skill. Like, I'd say.
See, now that lady knew he fucked up just saying that right there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm assuming that they most likely they not really hardcore boxing fans. That says Power 106 FM. So they, you know, they probably casuals at best, but they know some bullshit when they hear it. And one thing about them, because they're in the media, they know what to go viral and won't go viral. And as soon as Diego Pacheco came out of his mouth to say that, the lady already knew that was not a good thing that he said. You know what I mean? She seems to be Hispanic. I don't know exactly what she is, but if she Mexican herself, she already know how, you know, passionate these Mexican boxing fans are. So the last thing that these Mexicans want to hear is that Mexicans don't have skills. And he even started it off all wrong. He gonna go say, yo, man, like, fighters from Mexico, they get so much love, and I don't know why. It's like, you don't know why. What the hell? Okay, let's proceed.
Damn, that's crazy.
Check out Pacheco.
The
No.
only guy I can say who has a lot of skill born in Mexico is Canelo.
Well,
God damn. Yo, that nigga, he drawing off rip. Like, he just dropping bombs back to back. I don't know why they love Mexican fighters so much. Them niggas ain't got no skill. The only nigga from Mexico that got skills is Canelo Alvarez. God damn. And they telling him, like, yo, Pacheco, like, shorty playing his publicist low-key. She like, bro, chill. He just keep going. So Pacheco,
No. Te pasas.
he definitely been feeling like this for a while. And I ain't gonna lie, I feel like a lot of Mexican-American fighters feel that way about Mexicans. You know what I'm saying? Because Mexico really, historically has had a tough time adopting like Mexican-American fighters. Like, they haven't been as accepting of Mexican-American fighters as they have been with Mexican-born fighters. Like, Oscar De La Hoya always had an issue with being accepted by the Mexican community, especially when he was, and he's been, I'm sure he's been accepted since then, but in the lead up to the Chavez Sr. fight, Mexico was all in on Chavez. They didn't fuck with De La Hoya like that. Like, they didn't even accept him as one of their own for some strange reason. Same thing, like when you bring up like greatest Mexican fighters all the time, you would think Mikey Garcia will fall somewhere in those discussions based off of him being a 4-division champ, quality wins, world title. They don't even mention Mikey Garcia with these guys. And it happens to be because he's from California and not Mexico. Mind you, Mexico and Cali fucking right next to each other. They're literally connected from what I understand. But, if you weren't born in Mexico, they don't really look at you as a Mexican. And I get it because my whole life being a Puerto Rican and shit, my dad being, having African ancestry and shit like that, acknowledging that we black. Like, a lot of Puerto Ricans didn't really look at us like we was Puerto Ricans. For one, I wasn't born on the island. For two, I'm not fluent in Spanish. So that in itself, that like in Puerto Rico, that's like 2 strikes and you out. You know what I'm saying? So they already look at you like you different. And Puerto Rico kind of has this thing where it's like, all right, we got like the fighters that's from Puerto Rico. And then you got the fighters that are Puerto Rican, but they're from the East Coast for the most part. So let's say, for instance, Tito Trinidad, he gets heavy love from the island because he's from the island. But then you got Puerto Rican fighters like Hector Camacho, who I believe came up in New York. And even though he had gotten, he had gotten love from Puerto Rico, he actually passed away in PR, unfortunately, from what I understand. He really wasn't embraced, in my opinion, like a Tito. You know what I'm saying? Like a Wilfred Benitez, like a Wilfredo Gomez, shit like that. Hector Camacho is looked at as like a New York Puerto Rican boxer. And they even have different styles, so I get it. Like, I be hearing, like, my boy YSM, Jamil, he'd be like, yo, like, I think Puerto Rican fighters from New York have better styles than Puerto Rican fighters from the island. Now, that's a whole different type of discussion. I'm not going to get too much into that, but what I can say is that they are 2 different styles. So I said all of that to say that maybe this is how Mexican-American fighters feel about Mexicans overall, because, Mexican-American fighters, they are Mexican, but they may have a little bit of the American style in them. So they're pretty much a hybrid of both, cultures. So they probably look at it like, oh, yeah, like these Mexicans got heart, they got courage, they got all this good shit, but they ain't got the skills like us. You know what I'm saying? And I watched Diego Pacheco like boxing and amateurs and shit like that. And Diego definitely got more to his tool bag than just being like a quote unquote, like a stereotypical Mexican fighter. He definitely got some good, defense. He be turning real well. Like, Pacheco could box. So this is probably how the way he's been feeling for a long time.
Chavez?
Let's proceed.
Chavez will get beat up by Mayweather.
Jesus Christ. Yo, what's up with this nigga? He on one. I don't see no liquor on his table or nothing like that. But now you talking about El Gran Campeón de Mexico. You talking about Chavez Sr. that Mexico holds dearly to their motherfucking heart. And like, this lady, she's like trying to get this nigga to calm down. So she's like, all right, everybody respects. I already peeped her thought process. So she's like, everybody respects Chavez Sr. Let me throw this at him to make him backtrack on what he's saying. Not Diego. not Diego. Diego said Chavez Senior, man, like Floyd would have beat him up. Nigga, what? even if we, and that's so crazy because yesterday we was on the live and I was saying how Floyd would have stepped on Chavez while Slime was on the live. So Slime, you can vouch for me. We was talking about this just yesterday on the live. So the fact that Diego said that, even if that's true, now you are a Mexican-American fighter who these are all back-to-back things. He said Mexican fighters don't got no skill. This nigga Pitbull Cruz caught a stray. He said that, he said, wait, what was it that he said? He said that Mexicans ain't, they love Mexicans for some reason. I don't know why. Mexicans ain't got skills. Eastside Cruz caught a fucking stray. Now he talking about Chavez Senior ain't shit when it come to Floyd. So let's proceed.
Not Chavez Jr.
Both Chavez at
Oh
the same
my
time.
God damn. Yo, he said, nigga, he said she was like Chavez Senior. He said, man, both of them in the same night. Couldn't fuck with Floyd. God damn. Oh my God, this dude Chavez. Nigga, where is your publicist? I know a lot of y'all boxing niggas got publicists. I know Crawford got one. It's a lot of y'all motherfuckers who had publicists. I know Floyd had one. They supposed to train you on what and what not to say during interviews. That's literally what they specialize in, for what I understand. You stressing if you got a publicist, first of all, Diego, if you don't have a publicist, you need to hire one, nigga. You get into some money. So it's about time you invested into that so you could preserve your reputation. But this right here, you done pissed a lot of Mexicans off with this, bro. You know what I mean? You're not that popular yet, so I'm sure it hasn't hit like the heart of Mexico yet. But if they keep reposting this video, you definitely gonna rub some feathers. You're gonna ruffle some feathers, brother. That's for sure. And this is like all back-to-back shit. We're not even through the video yet.
God,
At the same time?
Here's where it ends.
This is where we're going viral.
This is where we're going viral. Hold on, y'all. Oh, shit. Hold up. God damn it. Fuck, I'm exposing the group chat. I'm a snitch. I'm sorry. Let me go ahead and bring this back. Holy shit. Let's bring this back. Let me share the screen. My apologies for that. My fault, man. Y'all can curse me out later in the chat. God damn. Let's rewind. Let's go to it.
in boxing, everyone loves the guys born in Mexico. Like they just love them. I don't know why.
Because they're really good, bro.
Pitbull Cruz. I mean, they're
Cruz is incredible.
the thing is, like, they can.
He's saying USA versus Mexico. That's what he's saying.
Taking it there.
But the thing about me, bro, is like I have.
Fuck, y'all. My fault. Damn. Fuck. I'm tripping. All right. We good. Oh shit. Niggas put rat emojis. That's crazy. Y'all niggas going too far now. But anyways, let's get into it. One more time.
Everyone loves the guys born in Mexico. Like they just love them. I don't know why.
Because they're really good, bro.
Pitbull Cruz. I mean, they're.
Cruz is incredible.
The thing is, like, they can fight, but they don't have that much skill. Like I'd say.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
Check out Pacheco.
The
No.
only guy I can say who has a lot of skill born in Mexico is Canelo.
Well,
No. Te pasas. Chavez.
Chavez will get beat up by Mayweather.
Not Chavez Jr.
Both Chavez at
Oh
the same
my
time.
God.
At the same time.
Here's where it ends. Here's where.
Oh, this is where we're going viral.
This is where we going viral because we know you fucked up. Yeah.
Pitbull Cruz is Pitbull Cruz.
His mind.
What do you think about him?
Pitbull Cruz, you see, he got heart and he got power.
And a steel face.
Yeah, and he got a
He
chin.
keeps coming.
But like you saw
Pause.
when he fought Rayo Valenzuela,
Yeah.
Rayo got too much skill. Like when you fight a guy who got skills, it's over for Mexico.
So you're saying skill over power?
Yeah, for sure. In boxing,
Hold up.
everyone loves
When it comes to skill, oh my God, this dude is fucking crazy. I gotta hear this one more time, yo. My fault.
the guys born in Mexico. Like they
Mhm.
just love them. I don't know why. Like,
Because they're really good, bro.
Pitbull Cruz. I mean, they're
Oh,
Yeah.
Cruz is
the
incredible.
thing is like they can fight, but they don't have that much skill. Like I'd say.
Oh, damn, that's crazy.
God,
Right. Check out. Pacheco.
That's strike 2 right there. So that's 2 back-to-back statements about Mexico.
God,
The
no.
only guy I can say who has a lot of skill born in Mexico is Canelo.
Strike 3.
Well,
No,
that
no,
is.
no. Te pasas. Chavez.
Chavez will get beat up by Mayweather.
Strike 4.
Not Chavez Jr.
Both Chavez
Oh,
at the same
my
time.
God.
At the strike 5.
Same time.
Here's where it ends. Here's where.
Oh, this is where we're going viral.
Pitbull Cruz is Pitbull Cruz.
His mind.
What do you think about him?
Pitbull Cruz, you see, he got heart and he got power.
And a steel face.
Yeah, and he got a
He
chin.
keeps coming.
But like you saw
Pause.
when he fought Rayo Valenzuela,
Yeah.
Rayo got too much skill. Like when you fight a guy who got skills, it's over for Mexico.
So you're saying skill over power?
When you fight somebody who got skills, it's over for Mexico. God damn. All right, let's see what else he say.
Oh, but he's
Bro,
saying
but-
USA versus Mexico. That's what he's saying.
Taking it there.
But the thing about me, bro, is like I have Mexican power and I got the American skills and I got the height and the everything.
Yeah, where'd you get that at? I want to know where the
My,
height
da-
comes
my
from.
dad's 6'3". My dad's 6'3".
wow.
My mom's 5'8".
Okay, hold on. Other boxers born in Mexico. You don't say anything. Everybody else, other boxers born in Mexico. Okay, Zurdo.
Zurdo solid. Marquez is a beast.
Okay,
Facts.
see, good.
That's
We're
my
getting
favorite
compliments.
fighter
We're getting
growing up.
compliments. We're getting compliments.
He's dope. He's dope.
Yeah, he laid Pacquiao
Cabezon,
out.
cabezon.
Come on.
Marco Antonio Barrera, Eric Morales, them niggas got skills, cuz.
Yeah, he got skill. You see that? That took skill. What he did, he set him up for that right hand.
Oh, but he's saying USA versus Mexico. That's what he's saying. Okay, boom. So to everybody listening, he didn't mean all the Mexican fighters.
Look, she trying to save him low key, like, yo, like he ain't mean none of that. You know what I mean? He just talking type shit. She doing a good job. You can tell she cares about his image.
I think it's just the truth. I feel like when it comes to
Nigga, double down. Like, nigga, she trying to save you and you keep on. Finito Lopez, facts. Yo, she was like, yo, like, guys, just want to let you know he don't mean that. He said, oh, man, it's facts. Like, this nigga don't care. Oh, my God.
He's standing on business.
When it comes to bro, Mexican Americans, like I don't know why, bro. Like we're not like, bro. Like when we go, people in Mexico, they call us. We're too American for people in Mexico.
Yeah,
and, then,
gringos.
and then here we're too Mexican for the people here. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like we're in the middle, bro, just stuck.
Oh no.
Welcome to my life. You ain't Rican enough for them. You ain't Rican enough for the Ricans. You ain't black enough for the black people. Yo, welcome to my world, bro. That's about every biracial person's life. So, congrats. Welcome to my world.
Oh.
And I gotta prove myself.
Yeah.
I gotta talk my shit.
And that's why you really F with Oscar De La Hoya too. He's Mexican
Exactly.
American. He took a lot of the, like, when he fought Chavez, it was like, who F this guy, right? The pretty boy face, him being out
They
here
were,
Mexican American, you know?
And I feel like Oscar probably did that because he felt the same way. Like
Mhm.
people in Mexico are like, oh, he's American. Like he's not real
Yeah.
Mexican. Put that flag down.
Es pocho, es
And that's what
pocho.
they'll
Yeah,
tell me
pocho.
too. That's what they'll tell me too. Like
Okay, boom. So to everybody listening, he didn't mean all the Mexican fighters.
Jesus Christ.
like you're America, like take down that Mexico flag. And I was like, bro, like I'm 100%, my blood is 100% Mexican.
Hey,
And
yeah.
I'm just born on this side. Imagine
Right.
having the best of both worlds.
It's that Mexican
There you
heart
go.
too. You
Mexican
know?
heart,
It's
Mexican
Mexican
blood,
heart,
Mexican
yeah.
everything. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
And what do full Mexican fighters have?
they got power and heart.
This nigga do not care, bro. He mean that shit. Yo, there ain't even no point in apologizing if you Diego. This nigga done, Bethania, that nigga quadrupled down. God damn. All right. Shit.
Power and heart.
No
Missing
skill.
the skills.
And a big ass fan base.
South
Power, heart, and a big ass fan base. That's how he create. This is what he thinks of Mexican fighters of today.
Central versus the world coming up. F it. Do it. I can't wait till you fight Canelo or Munguia and then see what happens. Munguia's going to be a crazy one.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Can we call it July Munguia versus
Hopefully,
Pacheco?
well, we're working on it.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, we'll get him mad enough.
Yo, with you saying that, Diego, you better be ready for Munguia, nigga. Because you just put a fire under these Mexican niggas, bro. What you just did right there, you giving these niggas more motivation to get ready to fuck you up. So you better be on point, because they're not going to forget this shit. Believe that.
With this interview that it'll happen.
Yeah,
Bro,
for
you
sure.
have to prove yourself, Munguia. Out here, you saying no, got no skill, bro. You just got heart.
I hear America like take down that Mexico flag.
Well, damn. Diego Pacheco, I didn't know he ran his mouth like that, or at least was that blunt, that honest. You feel what I'm saying? But Diego Pacheco, he actually followed up with a comment right here. He just posted it about an hour ago. He says, I didn't mean any disrespect to anyone with my comments. I love all the Mexican greats who paved the way for fighters like me, and I'm extremely proud to be Mexican-American. My message really was that Mexican-American fighters are the best. We're just not loved and embraced by Mexico because we're born in the States, and Americans don't claim us either because we're Mexican. That puts me in a position where it feels like I'm shadow banned by my own people. Thank you to Letty Set Go for the brown bag and the brown bag team for having me. So the nigga ain't really, if you really peep this comment right here, he's still standing on what he's saying. He's like, yo, I don't mean no disrespect, but that's just how I feel. Mexican Americans don't get no love compared to the Mexicans. He feels like they're, Mexican Americans are the best, I guess, in comparison to Mexican, fighters overall. And he feels like he's not giving the love and attention that Mexican-born fighters get, as a result of that. But I'm going to tell you what, Diego, just based off of you doing that, you're going to have an even harder time to get love from these niggas now, just because of how you spoke. He was like laughing and shit too, like he didn't care. Now we're going to get into what we think about his comments. Did what Diego Pacheco say, was it true? Now, obviously, everybody has their own opinions and things of that nature, but I'm going to say this. Diego really wasn't talking out his ass. I'm going to just say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he definitely wasn't talking out his ass. There was definitely some valid shit to the things that he was saying. Like, she brought up Pitbull Cruz as an example, because this whole thing, he started with, he was like, yo, like, Mexican fighters get a whole lot of love, and I don't know why. And the reason why he's saying that is because in comparison to Mexican Americans, they get a significant amount more love. They get love significantly more than Mexican American fighters. And he's trying to figure out why. Because in his mind, yo, I'm 100% Mexican. I was just born over on the other side of, the border. You see what I'm saying? So that's how he's looking at the whole situation. And then she brings up people like, and he said, yo, like Mexicans for the most part, as of recently, I guess he's saying, you know what I mean? They got power. They got heart. They tough, but they don't got skills. Me, I'm a Mexican-American fighter. I'm giving you the Mexican pizzazz, but I'm giving you an American skill set to go along with it. Like, I'm giving you the full package, basically, is what he's saying. I'm giving you the heart and the skill. I'm giving you the determination and the power. Like, he giving you a little bit of everything, and he's like, why the fuck is pretty much, why is Pitbull Cruz getting more acknowledgement than me? That's how I take the whole situation. So, Pitbull Cruz, him being brought up as an example for real, that kind of was a horrible example because that literally played into Diego Pacheco's point. Because when we look at Eastside Cruz, the nigga ain't got no skill. He's a short, big head motherfucker who got heart and power. He liked to fight. You see what I'm saying? So if Diego's main point is, yo, these motherfuckers ain't got no skills, they just got heart and power, then you bring up Eastside Cruz, nigga, he literally fits that exact description. You know what I'm saying? And maybe Diego Pacheco feels some type of way because after that Sajo performance against Kevin Sajo, when he had gotten dropped and it was just a tough outing for him, he probably felt like the Mexican people didn't really embrace him for his performance, because even though it was a tough one, he definitely showcased heart. He definitely faced some adversity. He got up off of the canvas and went on to be the undefeated contender like himself. So you would think that he would have gotten embraced for that, but he really didn't. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. I don't know. But Diego Pacheco isn't necessarily off with a lot of his points. And when you look over the landscape of, Mexico versus Mexican-American fighters today, a lot of the best Mexicans that we're, speaking about today are Mexican-Americans. Like, who's the Mexican that's like at the top of the pound for pound list right now? Jesse Rodriguez? The motherfuckers from San Antonio. Right? There ain't many Mexicans today, if any, that are more skilled than Bam Rodriguez. Right? David Benavidez, where he from? Seattle or Arizona, wherever he's from. He's mixed with a couple different things. Say he Ecuadorian and stuff like that. But, he waved that Mexican flag each and every time. He's on the on my pound for pound list as well. He's a Mexican American, man. When you're thinking about people who, that are representing Mexico and is serving the boxing world correct, like at this very point in time, it's not many Mexicans that are at the top of the list that are actually from Mexico right now. So based off of what Diego Pacheco is saying, the motherfucker got a solid take. It's not a terrible one. You know what I'm saying? It's not a terrible take. Now, it's definitely going to ruffle some feathers. You know what I mean? And this kind of brings me back to the Teofimo Lopez interview where he was like, oh, man, like, Puerto Rican fighters are easy, blah, blah, blah. Puerto Rican fighters are easy. They have an easy style. Like, he whoops their ass all the time and stuff like that. Like, he said that on the record. And, a lot of Puerto Ricans was outraged about that. I had a bunch of Puerto Ricans on my channel who, didn't really like what Teofimo Lopez had to say. You know what I mean? That ended up biting him in the ass at the end of the day, because you had a tough, closely, a very controversial fight against a Puerto Rican fighter in Jermaine Ortiz. Then you went against Shakur Stevenson, who was also Puerto Rican, and gave you a boxing lesson and whooped that ass a little bit too. So that shit came back to fuck him over at the end of the day. But it kind of brings me back to those times. And I remember how outraged Puerto Ricans were as a result of that. And, Tio wasn't just coming at Puerto Rican fighters. He was coming at, black people as well and shit. He got beat up by a black Rican. It worked out. But it brings me back to those times. But this one right here is not as bad as Teofimo Lopez's, in my opinion, because Diego was speaking on his own people. You know what I mean? It's different when an outsider speak about people that, they're not, they're not of. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, if a Mexican talks shit about a Puerto Rican, it's not going to have the, it's going to be a lot more offensive than a Puerto Rican talking about a Puerto Rican, because at least when you're a Puerto Rican, you have more of a say, so to speak, on your own people in comparison to speaking about people that you don't represent. You feel what I'm saying? So it was Diego Pacheco's comments weren't like too crazy, but at the same time, you could tell like Diego been holding this shit in for a long time, though, man. He been holding this shit in for a long time. You could tell. And I ain't gonna lie, that's probably how a lot of Mexican Americans feel. He just went out on his shield to say that. Do y'all remember when Jeremy Lin was popping in the NBA? Do y'all remember that? And it was like Linsanity and like, the Asian community was backing Jeremy Lin heavy when he was on the Knicks and he was hitting game winners, and this motherfucker came off the bench and made shit happen. Floyd Mayweather came out and was like, black basketball players do what Jeremy Lin do every night and don't receive any credit for it. Like, the only reason why y'all hyping him up is because he Asian. And you seen how fucking bad that shit really you see how hot the Asian community had gotten about that, John. And but Floyd said that a lot of people, a lot of black basketball players behind the scenes was thanking him for his take because they wanted to say it, but they just weren't able to do so. You know what I mean? I think in this situation right here, Diego Pacheco says some shit that a lot of Mexican American fighters feel today. They just don't want to say it because they don't want to ruffle any feathers. So This motherfucker, what they say, he died on that hill. You know what I mean? He definitely went up that hill and made a very controversial opinion. It's gonna definitely ruffle some feathers over there in Mexico. And this shit might have just created this may have very well made him a villain. And during this interview, they're talking about how he's in negotiations with Jaime Munguia right now. Aldo Powell said Pacheco kind of fucked up the bag. I mean, not necessarily, because let's say, hypothetically speaking, that he goes and he fights Jaime Munguia and he beats him. As long as he's winning, could you really say he fucking a bag up? If he's still getting that Jaime Munguia opportunity, is he really fucking a bag up? Not really. What he is doing, though, is going, if anything, he might have even doubled his bag, because what's going to happen is, all these Mexicans are going to be like, this little motherfucker right here want to talk shit about Mexico. I want to see this motherfucker lose. So you already know the Mexicans going to be out there popping their shit for Jaime Munguia and shit like that. They're going to be booing Diego Pacheco every opportunity they get. You know what I mean? So they going to come and they going to tune in. But if he go and he step on Jaime, outboxes him, whatever the case is, he uses his skills to completely outclass Jaime, the Mexicans, they still going to hate him, but they ain't going to have no choice but to acknowledge him. You know what I'm saying? So this could either really work for him or it could really fuck him over. That's why I said while I was watching the video and I was giving y'all my live reaction, he has to beat Jaime Munguia now. You can't talk that shit and then, talk about how you more skilled than these fighters. These fighters ain't got no skills, and then Jaime Munguia step on you. Like, it's not going to age very well. So without Diego even noticing it, he put a lot of pressure on himself, because now you have to perform and show that what you were talking about was valid. You cannot go into this fight and get outskilled by Jaime Munguia. You cannot go into this fight and have this motherfucker who has no skills, just power and heart, beat you. You claim to be this skilled guy. You say you got the Mexican side. You say you got the American side. You are a blend of both. You got the heart, you got the determination, and you got the skills. So now, since you said that and you downplayed Mexican-born fighters in the process, now you have to talk that shit. Now you have to walk that shit that you was talking about. That's all that is. I don't mind a little trash talk, but now the pressure is really on Diego Pacheco if he fights Jaime Munguia too. No, any Mexican fighter moving forward, you're going to have to prove yourself against, because these motherfuckers not going to forget. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. My boy Aldo Powell said if David said that, nobody going to call him out. I mean, he been talking shit about Canelo specifically, but I never heard David jump out the window to disrespect Mexicans as a whole. Like, I've never seen that. But I do think at the same time, David is more trained from like a PR, what's that, like public relations. He's more well versed with interviews than Diego Pacheco, and I think he knows. I think he has a better idea of what to say and what not to say. He's more media trained. You feel me? So I think that Diego Pacheco, these interviews are still somewhat new to him, and you already know if he got a publicist, that publicist rang his phone right away, like, yo, Diego, you can't be saying things like this. Like, you're a Mexican fighter. You should be looking to, build a connection with Mexico. And Diego, like, man, fuck it. It's facts. Like, I try to show, like, I'll be waving this flag all the time, but don't nobody want to acknowledge me. So he probably like, y'all saying fuck me. So now I'm saying fuck y'all. That may very well be the situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the point in even trying to kiss these Mexican fans' ass when they don't acknowledge me, but they acknowledging motherfuckers like Pitbull Cruz? Now, mind you, Pitbull Cruz has done something that Diego Pacheco hasn't done yet, and that's become world champion and been in big fights with, Gervonta Davis, Lamont Roach, and, if you wouldn't even count that Rayo Venezuela one, Rolly Romero, like, and, Pitbull Cruz has been a part of, like, some big fight cards, as a result of that. So Diego definitely has a lot more work to do before he, puts himself ahead of an Isaac Cruz. But I understand what he's saying. He's not totally wrong, y'all. He's not. You feel me? It's not totally wrong. If you want any point of reference, this ain't me backing this play like, oh, these Mexican, but no, like I said, some of my favorite fighters all time were born and raised in Mexico. You know what I mean? I actually wasn't. I was actually fucking with Canelo before the PED shit too. You know what I mean? But Juan Manuel Marquez is one of my favorite, and I'm glad they brought him up as like a example to really get Diego head back in the game. But Diego wasn't hating. He didn't hate on Marquez though. Like he said, Chavez, like he didn't really think too much of Chavez. You could tell, like, and a lot of people don't. To be honest with you, I've seen people in the chat talk about Chavez overrated, and I can see why y'all could say that. But you know, Mexico, Chavez Sr. definitely deserves his spot in boxing. He did some great shit. But he said, man, Floyd would have beat him and his son the same night. Now, Chavez Jr. is like, come on. Like, do we really have to speak about him? He's an embarrassment, to be honest. But Jay Remy said, I remember Gabriel Flores talked some shit about Mexicans, never recovered. Well, damn. I actually didn't know that, but I know Gabriel Flores definitely has some tough points in his career thus far. And I think, I think he just lost recently. I think he just lost in his hometown. Who was it against? Joe Cordina? I think Joe Cordina whooped his ass the other day. Yeah, it was Joe. Joe whooped him. That shit wasn't even close neither. But yeah, I never heard Gabriel Flores speak about that, but I'm not surprised, bro. This has to be something that's public knowledge. It really has to be public knowledge at this point. Like, you know, I don't really know what else to say outside of that, man. Diego was talking crazy. You definitely need a publicist, brother. You don't want to consistently do these things. Like, if you want to keep a clean reputation and not be saying controversial shit like that, then, you know, you definitely need a publicist to get you on the right path so you can answer these questions correctly and, you know, not have a controversial take that may be detrimental to your reputation in the Mexican community, man. But this motherfucker Diego clearly don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just say that. Like, he clearly don't give a fuck, because there was a few times where the woman was looking to, like, you know, save him, I guess you would say. And he was like, man, listen, like, it's facts. Like, so he didn't give a fuck. Like, yo, I feel how I feel. It is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, shout out to Diego Pacheco for standing on business. You feel me? If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. It ain't like you said anything derogatory towards Mexicans or anything like that. You feel like at this current point of time, the Mexican Americans, you know, are more skilled than the Mexican fighters. You know, you feel like you don't get the love that you deserve. You voicing your opinion. You know what I mean? Just, you know, as much as, you know, fans criticize, you know, fighters, fans should be able to take criticism from fighters as well. It's not just a one-way street where you just criticize the fighters and the fighters just have to deal. No, like, the fans be tripping too sometimes. And I do feel like the whole, and this is speaking from somebody who, growing up, you know, I wasn't Puerto Rican enough for the Puerto Ricans, and I wasn't black enough for the black people. So I was stuck in my own little spot. You know what I'm saying? And I had friends that was in the same fucking boat. I had homies. Shout out to my homie Derek. He was black and Rican. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had cousins that was black and Rican. We was on the same type time. And I understand where Diego's coming from, because he's like, yo, I'm not Mexican enough for these Mexicans because I wasn't born over there. And I'm not American enough for these Americans over here, because every time they see me, they see a Mexican. But when the Mexicans see me, they see an American. So I'm like stuck in this spot. You know what I'm saying? So I understand where he's coming from, and I think he's just venting. I think he's just voicing his frustrations, and as a human, he's entitled to do so. It is what it is. I don't really think people need to be all up in arms about that shit. Y'all should demand more of y'all Mexican fighters to develop their skills, because nowadays these Mexican fighters are so protected. They're so enabled. Their community enables them. I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, a lot of the Mexican community, they be enabling these Mexican fighters to believe in that they shouldn't have to fight guys who box. You know what I mean? Because they're runners. You don't need to be in the ring with runners. You know, they need to stand in front of you and fight. And it's like, bro, not everybody gonna give you that look, brother. But these Mexicans nowadays, especially like Pitbull Cruz, because he real selective with who he fight. You know what I mean? He want motherfuckers to stand in front of him and trade with him because that's when he has the most success. But when somebody start picking up their feet and start boxing his ass, now he claiming that they running and that's not an entertaining fight. No, it's an entertaining fight. You just don't like that style because it could give you a strong possibility of losing. You know what I'm saying? Because Isak can't box. So, I feel like the Mexican community, they got some great fighters. They've had a lot of skilled fighters. Somebody wrote Finito Lopez in the chat. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say this. Great example. One of the greatest Mexican fighters, one of the most underappreciated Mexican fighters of all time. Like I said, Marco Antonio Barrera, you can't watch that brother Naseem Hamed fight and tell me that you ain't see skills in there. Eric Morales, you can't see the fights that he's had, with Marco Antonio Barrera, Danny Garcia and shit like that. And tell, Manny Pacquiao, outboxed Manny Pacquiao in the first fight from what I recollect. And you can't tell me you didn't see skills in there. You know what I'm saying? So there's been plenty of skillful fighters that had come out of the country of Mexico. But I do think at this current moment, we don't really see too many skilled Mexican fighters that are known for like their IQ and, outsmarting guys, unless they are from America. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I see the whole situation. Diego could have definitely delivered that better to not offend so many people, but he wasn't totally off. Like, this wasn't like no, Teofimo Lopez comments where he's, whatever monkey wants to get the banana. Puerto Ricans, they're fucking terrible. I whoop them all the time. And then you go ahead and you get fried by, Puerto Rican fighters and shit. But I'm going to tell you this, Diego, without you even knowing, you apply more pressure on yourself, man, because if you go ahead and you lock this fight in with Jaime Munguia, you have to step. You have to step. Your heart, your skill set, everything you said that you have. You say you got the American side, you got the Mexican side. All of that has to be on full display. If you lay an egg in there, your reputation going to go down the drain because you know what they're going to do. They're going to bring up this fucking interview. Then they're going to combine that with the footage of you getting your ass whooped by Jaime Munguia, and they're going to talk about how you ain't who you say you is. And they will make fun of you. The Mexican community will come together to laugh at you because they do care about their fighters. They are very passionate about their fighters. Anything you say against them, it bothers the shit out of them. I remember Floyd was facing criticism for saying that he would have beat Chavez. Like, I remember that. And then Chavez was like, man, I would have whooped Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Like, Floyd was 50-0, but I was 89-0 or whatever the fuck his record was. And all the Mexicans was like, yeah. They was backing Chavez play 1,000%. So you gotta be real careful with that community, man, because you started off strong. You criticized who people look at as the greatest fighter, the most iconic fighter to come out of Mexico. You disrespected him and his son, fucking Pitbull, who's popular amongst the boxing community, the Mexican community right now. He caught a stray by you. So it's a lot of shit that happened in that one interview where I could see Mexicans like. A lot of them probably who don't even speak English, they probably gonna look past us, but you already know the motherfuckers is gonna translate, put pictures together, videos together, and they gonna understand. They're gonna understand. So Diego Pacheco, he crazy as shit. Yeah, he crazy motherfucker for doing that. Let me I'll be right back, y'all. Let me go. I'll be right back. Let me see that shit real quick. All right, we back. Look at y'all. Boxer Sparring said Chavez Sr. pecked out Roger Mayweather twice. I mean, listen, this ain't to say that Mexicans don't got no quality victories. Y'all got a whole bunch. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all got a whole bunch. Y'all one of the greatest, like pound for pound. Y'all one of the greatest countries to ever produce boxers. You know what I'm saying? So this ain't no disrespect at all. I definitely got significant victories over quality guys. You know what I mean? Like the Puerto Rico-Mexico rivalry is fire. Like y'all done y'all done whooped a lot of Puerto Rican guys. Like y'all, that motherfucker Salvador Sanchez was bodying shit. Y'all was doing y'all thing, man. Y'all was doing y'all thing. Margarito beat Cotto the first time. Cotto came back and beat Margarito. You know what I mean? Like, y'all, we got a great history, and I actually look forward to these Jones. Like, Canelo beat Cotto. You know what I mean? Like, y'all did y'all thing. Like, Salvador Sanchez beat up on Wilfredo Gomez, who is known, and RIP to Salvador Sanchez as well. You know, Wilfredo Gomez is known as top 2, top 3 greatest Puerto Rican boxers to ever lace him up. A Mexican got a win over him. But Tito Trinidad got wins over a lot of Mexican fighters like Yori Boy Cambas, who was 56-0 with 50 knockouts. You know, Fernando Vargas, who was a Mexican-American. Oscar De La Hoya, who was a Mexican-American. You know, and there's, you know, you could go on and on. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Puerto Ricans and Mexicans, they got great wins over each other and shit like that. Like Orlando Salido bodied Juan Manuel Lopez, who was a Puerto Rican. Then Mikey Garcia beat up Juan Manuel Lopez too. Like, yeah, like the Mexicans been doing damage to us. We've been doing damage to Mexicans. It is what it is. Jay Cash said, I already got some Salvador Sanchez film queued up to watch tonight. Beautiful fighter. You know what I mean? Boxer Sparring said, Mark, I'm not gonna lie though, when a Mexican and a Mexican American fight, I always root for the Mexican, even though I'm from LA, bro. Hey man, listen, that you entitled to do that, brother. There's nothing wrong with you doing that. But considering that, I believe, you know, from what you're telling me, you're a Mexican American yourself, it's kind of odd because when you really look at it, they wouldn't root for you. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? I've rooted. I mean, you don't really see like, well, Puerto Rican American versus Puerto Rican. We've seen a few of those. You know, Tito Trinidad and Chavez. I mean, Tito Trinidad and Camacho. That was one of them. I would have rooted for Tito all day. So I get it. You know what I mean? But I would root for Tito Trinidad against anybody walking this planet. So, I mean, that's just me. But let me see. My boy Trick's in the building. I see a bunch of comments, by the way. Y'all real passionate on this subject. I see it. Trick said those clips of Diego will resurface if he loses to a Mexican. Yeah, that's what I meant by like him adding pressure to himself. Because saying shit like that, you gotta step now. Like there's no other way around it. Like you can't not show up now. You have to. And that same shit you was talking about that makes you better than the Mexican-born fighters, the skills with you got to put all of that on display. You can't be on no scary shit. You can't not show skills. You can't sit there and just be taking punishment from one gear. Like you have to put on the show. You have to put on the show. And coming off of your last performance where you had some trouble, you got to step, bro. Because we're already looking at you a little funny how the way you pulled out of that Hamza Shiraz fight and all that. So you got to make sure whatever fight you coming back to is a banger. It got to be like a Jaime Munguia or something. Diego Pacheco versus Jaime Munguia will go crazy on the Benavidez and Gilberto Ramirez card. Wouldn't it? Oh, my God. That Mexico versus Mexico card will go crazy. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Imagine that. Now, they might be working on this already. I don't know. But Diego Pacheco versus Jaime Munguia as the co-main event for David Benavidez versus Gilberto Ramirez would go absolutely berserk. If you put a vacant title on the line, even better. But that fight right there would go crazy. I would love to see that shit. I would love to see that. Tricks for the win. So I hope they make Mexican Americans versus Mexican cards. Yeah, throw William Cepeda on there. Well, they talking about he about to fight Lamont. But who's a Mexican that said, yo, imagine if Navarrete was at 35, Navarrete versus William Cepeda. Ooh, wee. Oh, we. If that motherfucking Navarrete knew how to perform at 35, you put them two motherfuckers on there. Oh my God, that shit will go crazy. Oh man, y'all niggas make me a matchmaker. Yo, if we put the nation in charge to make these cards, if they gave us a Turkey Al-Sheikh budget, and we was in charge of matchmaking these cards, bro, I swear to God, boxing would be the number one sport in the world. Number one sport in the world. All these different concepts like Mexico versus America, Mexico, we get that shit popping. Oh my God, bro. A nigga could dream, right? Jay Remy said Puerto Ricans probably gatekeep being Puerto Rican more than Mexicans do. Now, that might be true. That might be true. Trust me, I've been through it. I've been through it. Yo. Anonymous snapped with this one. This is even better. Navarrete versus Mortati, yeah, for a belt. Ooh-wee. That would go crazy. That's Mexico versus Mexico, America right there. Tricks came through with another crazy John. Tito Mercado versus Pitbull Crew. I got Tito Mercado. I'm sorry. Navarrete and Mortati. If Navarrete could perform at 35, how he do at 30, him and Mortati would be a great fucking fight. But Navarrete, based off of the history, he don't look like himself at 35. Maybe that was something wrong that he did in camp. You know what I mean? He just started being, approaching camp smarter with the nutritionist, the strength and conditioning coach. So, maybe he'll be different if he moved up, but he got Charlie Suarez problems. So we're going to have to wait on that. We're going to see because Charlie going to come back with a vengeance. He ain't playing with Navarrete. So Navarrete got to show that. You know what I mean? That was just a bad showing, but that wasn't who I am. So he has to prove that. Mortati versus William Cepeda, that go crazy too. I'm surprised they ain't try to lock that fight in. Coach Panda versus Robert Garcia, fire. Yeah, I think Tito Mercado will be a terrible style for Pitbull. You know why? Because Tito Mercado punches hard for one. He has a good jab. He understands range enough to frustrate William Cepeda. I mean, not William Cepeda. He understands range enough to frustrate somebody like Pitbull. And he's really good with the counters, man. Tito got some good counter punching ability, bro. Look at Josue Hernandez. Look at him. He put his matchmaker head on. He says Zordo versus Benavidez, Charlo versus Resendiz, and Munguia versus Pacheco. Take my money for real. Take all of it. I was trying to keep the Mexico-American versus Mexico theme, but God damn it, take all of it. Bitch. Hold on. Bitch. Take all of it. Bitch. Take all of it. What the fuck is you talking about? I throw my motherfucking debit card at you too, bitch ass nigga. Fuck you, man. You gonna take this motherfucking $40 now. Babe. Come over here. That's how we gonna do this. All right. That's how you gotta talk to your women. For those of y'all who have trouble speaking to your women and shit, watch this. Hey. You got $40? What you trying to do for this $40? Fuck you mean nothing. You better not leave this room without you getting dismissed, you heard? Oh, hell no. See, that's why you can't, you know what I'm saying? See this, man? Better be ready to fuck for $1. What's wrong with her? All wrong with her. See, I mean, that's everything you do for these women, boy, they just walk away from you and shit. I never understand that shit. We gonna fuck for $1, do something strange for a piece of change. I'll keep my motherfucking $40. Motherfucker. Duarte already on there? Yeah. Whatever, woman. Somebody time Millennia out, please. What? Somebody time her out, please. Demonetized? Not yet. Whatever. I do what I want. Yes, sir. That's a little inside joke we got. Anyways, let's get into things that are relevant to the sport of boxing before this heifer got involved in my live stream. We're going to be speaking about a rumor that's going around. I had actually put a video out earlier today. If y'all ain't see it, please go check it out because I think people so accustomed to my live streams that people don't even come and check out the videos. You know what I mean? So go check out the videos that I put out here and there, man. You know what I mean? Once I get more invested into my YouTube channel, once I get more time for my YouTube channel, I will be uploading more, consistently. You know what I mean? Because I think that's what's going to take my channel to the next. Yeah, that's from South Park. Yep. That's what's going to take my channel to the next level. But anyways, there's a rumor going around between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia. You know what I'm saying? So I had seen on Devin Haney Promotions Instagram page, they had posted a story and it says September 5th at the Allegiant Stadium, and they're showing Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia facing off. Now, does that mean that that's concrete? Does that mean that it's it's definite or anything of that nature? Absolutely not. That may have very well just been something that they put out there just to get the people, talking and, just build up anticipation and things of that nature. It's Devin Haney's promotions page. So what is that page there for? To promote Devin Haney, right? So that's how I look at the whole situation. I'm going to go ahead and post this. I'm going to go ahead and share the screen so y'all can go check this out. Pound for pound on Twitter says breaking news. Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 2 is happening September 5th in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. Now, he's reporting this as if it's definitive. You know what I'm saying? But it's not. You know what I mean? We're not going to jump out the window and say that it is because, I'm assuming that, for one, I highly doubt that terms were agreed to, contracts were signed or anything like that. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure we would have seen a promotional company, posted, whether it was Golden Boy, whether it was DHP or Devin Haney himself, Riyadh Season, Ring Magazine. We didn't see anything like that. So as far as I'm concerned, this is a rumor. But let me tell y'all something, man. Let me really tell y'all something. This is one of the biggest fights to be made in the sport of boxing today. You know what I'm saying? This is one of very few rematches that we would like to see. Now, I don't condone anybody using PEDs or, no contest for PED usage. And motherfuckers cheating overall, I have zero tolerance policy towards that. So don't take this approach as the wrong way, but this is literally like a rematch made in heaven for the boxing world. And I'm going to tell y'all why, right? Because all this fight does is leave suspense, right? Because these dudes literally have like the perfect story when it comes to each other. They just keep realigning with each other. They've known each other since they was kids. They fought each other, 6 times in the amateurs, and they broke even. So neither one of them could say, oh, I got over on him in the amateurs, blah, blah. No, that shit is dead even. Not only that, they really don't like each other. Devin Haney feels a way about Ryan Garcia. Apparently, he said something about his religion, and, Ryan Garcia was going crazy. They done pushed each other, shoved each other, and, it's just real. At first, it seemed to be just competition, but you could tell it got personal as it went on. You even got Bill Haney saying that my son gonna kill Ryan and all this stuff. And when you start saying words like kill and, unalive and all that shit in boxing, things can get very uncomfortable considering that this is a sport where multiple people yearly die from taking punishment, brain injuries, stuff like that. So it was very personal. Ryan Garcia cheated multiple times, watching him use illegal IVs, watching him come in overweight purposely. And him saying that he'll come to 140 to face Shakur, that tell you everything you need to know. He missed weight intentionally to have an advantage. Then he goes into the fight while Austrian in his system does what he does at Devin, was temporarily named the winner. And then when it came out, the fight was ruled a no contest. So Devin Haney career was at an all-time low coming off of that fight. He's over here trying to get fights done, and people are lowballing him. Even though he was cheated, and there was public information that he was cheated during the fight, they still try to, lowball him. And thanks to Turkey Al-Sheikh, he was able to get back on his feet, in 2 fights and become world champion again in a different weight class. Ryan Garcia, in the meanwhile, he he's actually the one who seemed to have suffered the most because Devin Haney came off of that fight and got a win against Jose Ramirez. Ryan Garcia came off of a no contest on 1 year ban, and then he goes and fights Rolly Romero, where everybody thought Rolly was going to be easy work, and he get his ass whooped. So now Rolly Romero gives him a loss coming off of that 1 year suspension and all of that. And, Ryan Garcia had to do some soul searching. He lacked accountability. That's something that we do know. He refused to accept the fact that, Rolly Romero was the better man. And he was given another opportunity because Ryan Garcia is one of the most privileged motherfuckers in the sport of boxing today. One of the most protected fighters today because they believe in their heart that Ryan Garcia is this megastar when in reality, he's shown you time and time again that he's an average fighter. Good hand speed, good power, but an average fighter when it comes to, elite level competition. So he faces the weakest link at 147 pounds, in my opinion, of Mario Barrios, who, since he had the WBC title, was never able to successfully defend his belt with a victory. That's right, y'all. Since he got that WBC title, he's literally not won a single fight. Abel Ramos, draw. Manny Pacquiao, draw. Now he's going in there with Ryan Garcia when we know that Mario Barrios just isn't the same. He fails to listen to instructions. It's like no urgency, no aggressiveness in there, like no real urgency to win whatsoever. It's just, and everybody knew, and I was rooting for Mario Barrios, but I told y'all, like Ryan Garcia if Ryan Garcia fucked this up, he'll never be a world champion. He got the easiest opportunity. Shit was a wide open layup, by himself, dribbling down the court, wide open layup. You missed this. You just not a baller, son. Like, you just not a baller. And, he ended up taking the opportunity. Everybody was praising Ryan Garcia, but nonetheless, they were both able to bounce back. However they got it, they were both able to bounce back and become champions in a whole separate division than they fought in. So now you're talking about a rivalry between these two guys. Bad blood, animosity, personal, drama, controversy. So all of those things right there. You also got the casual boxing fans involved because that one fight went viral. Niggas was making fun of Devin Haney's shoes and they was making memes of him being knocked down and, they was all praising Ryan Garcia and all this shit. And, they still defend Ryan Garcia to this day. But now you include all of that and just add in the belts. And I know, and like I said in the video I posted earlier, I know today we're coming into this era now where people are acting like belts don't matter. They don't hold any significance. And, I'm not paying all these fees. And, the Ring Magazine belt is free. The Ring Magazine belt is what matters. And you're not a true champion if you don't have a Ring Magazine belt. I'm not one of them. Regardless of the disagreements I may have with these sanctioning bodies like the WBC and shit like that, WBA, I can't ignore their significance to the sport of boxing, to these fighters' legacy. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the times when these guys are getting inducted into the Hall of Fame, the accolades are brought into consideration, and a lot of the accolades do include winning world titles. Whether it's at one division, two divisions, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like, these are the things that I looked over when considering people to be Hall of Famers. So this fight, with everything I just mentioned, has all the qualities to be the biggest fight today. This fight is bigger than Boots and Virgil, in my opinion. This fight is bigger than, Usyk versus Fabio Wardley, Usyk versus Egypt Kabiel. This fight is bigger than any fight that could be made in boxing. I'm going to keep it real. This fight bigger than Shakur and Ryan. Just to keep it real. So, would I love to see this fight happen next? Yes. But it do look like Devin Haney's about to lock in a fight with Rolly Romero. They've been real transparent with the business behind everything. Seemed like, according to Rolly, he signed everything off on his end. Devin Haney seems pretty optimistic. They received the offer from Rolly Romero's team. So if it's a fight that's happening May 30th out in New York, you better believe I'm going to be there. Nah, this fight bigger than Tank and Shakur. Well, to be real, Josue, we know that fight not happening anytime soon. And if Tank just happened to grow up one day, wake up one day with a set of nuts, maybe that fight would be the biggest one. Maybe. But we know Tank ain't gonna jump off the porch to fight nobody no time soon. He looking to fight Pitbull Cruz. He looking to fight Pitbull Cruz. He ain't worried about no motherfucking Shakur Stevenson right now. Still trying to find out where that 6-fight deal is. Where Tank's 6-fight deal at, y'all? You know what I mean? But I'm speaking about fights that are realistic, because in Tank's eyes, he just don't want he don't care about fighting the best. He just care about being a legend in Baltimore. Underachieving ass nigga, man. But we ain't gonna dwell too much on the Gervonta Davis situation, man. That's my take on Diego Pacheco disrespecting Mexican fighters. Haney Garcia 2 rumor September 5th at the Allegiant. What's that? The Allegiant Stadium. I think that's in Las Vegas, from what I understand. So now we ready for the open boxing topics, man. Does anybody have any questions for your boy? 6 fights, 250 M's. They say, yeah, what happened? It was like this big lucrative deal. He was making more money than Floyd. Okay. Remember when they was listing all the names? Like, yo, is Shakur Stevenson on that list? Yup. Haney? Yup. T.O.? Yup. Ain't not one of them motherfuckers popped up on that came up on his radar yet. You know what I mean? Well, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Josue Hernandez said, no bullshit. I can see Turkey trying to work out a deal with Tank. If he beats Pitbull, they both would be at 140. Makes sense, Yeah, it would make sense. But Turkey Al-Sheikh, what a lot of people not, taking into consideration, Josue, is that Turkey Al-Sheikh has already attempted to do business with Gervonta Davis. And he's refused. He says that he's loyal to Al Heyman. He fuck with who he fuck with, because he don't suck dick or some weird shit that he had posted on his story and stuff like that. So now his whole thing is that he's loyal. All right, well, why weren't you loyal to Floyd? If you're so big on loyalty, why are you not loyal to Coach Calvin? Coach Calvin built you to who the fuck you was today. If it wasn't for Coach Calvin, you'd probably be wiping windows somewhere, nigga. You know what I mean? You'd probably be washing windows for an allowance or some shit, nigga. Like, I mean, you wasn't loyal to Coach Calvin when you went over to that what was it, Barry Hunter or some shit like that. You went over to go train with Barry Hunter. I mean, you act like Coach Calvin was on your shit list when you literally owe that nigga your life, nigga. You feel what I'm saying? You wasn't loyal to Floyd Mayweather when he gave you that co-sign and made you this big name that you are today. But you just so loyal to Al Heyman. Okay. But little do you know that Al Heyman's working with Turkey Al-Sheikh. Turkey Al-Sheikh couldn't put these PBC niggas on his card without Al blessing. I think Benavidez even spoke about getting Al Heyman blessing to do these fights with, Riyadh season. Is he a snake for that? Based off of what you say, is David Benavidez disloyal? What if you were able to get Al Heyman's blessing? Would you still fight? I don't know. Rolly on nightcap right now with Shannon Sharp and Ocho Cinco. Let's check that out. That's crazy. That's how you know Rolly don't fuck with me, bro. That nigga said I ain't doing no interviews until, you know what I'm saying, until I got some, and then he go hop on nightcap and shit. Crazy. It's cool. That's how they want to treat you when you want to come up. Yeah, they doing that interview right now. I don't know if they're gonna throw him and Shakur Stevenson in at the same time, but you know it is what it is. Do we got any last questions before we get up out of here, man? Yeah, boxer. I agree. We definitely need boxers on, all these big platforms. You know what I mean? We need to see more boxers on the Breakfast Club. We need to see more boxers on Club Shay Shay, Nightcap, of course, $1 million worth of game. The Donza Project. There's a lot of big that one channel I fuck with, I ain't gonna lie. I love how the way they do interviews. I think his name is like Art of Dialogue or something like that. Great. I love how the way they set it. I love how the way he asks the questions. He let the motherfuckers talk. You can tell he did research and shit like I fuck with that dude channel. We gotta see. I don't really fuck with no jumper or Vlad TV. Not gonna lie to you, them niggas is culture vultures. But what's the other dude name, man? We need to bring back like Arsenio Hall, man. Like I know Arsenio a little bit older now. He probably ain't got the energy for all that. But we need to bring that back. We need to have like a new Arsenio Hall. Real shit. I used to love watching them old interviews. He used to interview all the old wrestlers and shit. But yeah, boxing should be on every big platform. I forgot that other dude platform though. I forgot. Shout out to him. I said Don's a project already. Haney, Ryan, too, definitely gonna be a Netflix fight. I see that, Josue. I definitely see that. That'll be, man. I would love that. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I love the fact that Netflix is investing in the boxing too. That lets you know that boxing is profitable in comparison, to what people have said in the past. That boxing don't bring no money, and I can't tell because every time Netflix get a chance, they book in a boxing event. Now they're more into fight. They're not like all in with boxing. They're just gonna do things that they feel like is gonna do big numbers. But shit, big numbers, whatever, entertainment, whatever. It's boxing. You feel me? Yup. Ralph in the building. He said Tank saying that he couldn't use the excuse of money because they'll actually pay him what he wants, and he will have to fight elite guys. That's a fact. I think that's why. Because Tank whole thing is that that fight's not ready yet. That fight's not ready yet. Whenever you heard Leonard Ellaby talk about Haney Tank and Tank Shakur, you always heard Leonard Ellaby. I know the numbers. That fight's not ready yet. All right, well, this nigga Turkey Al-Sheikh giving you that motherfucking money to let you know that the fight is ready. You know what I mean? Niggas ain't worried about numbers, selling tickets, none of that. Turkey putting that motherfucking bag up because he wants to see that fight happen. So now what's your excuse going to be? There's literally none. It's like you can't use that money angle no more. And this will be killing me more than anything because there's always this narrative out here that boxers not scared of other boxers and, they've been fighting their whole life. What they scared of? Bro, fear is a fucking a sense that every human on this earth has. These motherfucking boxers ain't no superheroes where they just don't feel fear. Every one of y'all, all 21 of y'all, including myself in the building, have felt fear before in some way. Y'all may have feared another man. Y'all may have feared an idea that was in your head that never came to reality. You may fear a consequence. You may fear karma. You may fear death. I don't know what it is that you fear, but you felt it before. And you mean to tell me that these boxers, because they go into the ring and throw punches at each other, that they don't fear another man? Shit. Got me fucked up. I've heard fighters on the phone say, "Oh no, I ain't fighting him. Like, he different, man. Like, no, I ain't fighting him." What? This is a business. I'm not ready for that fight yet. Nigga, y'all got the same amount of fights. Y'all at the same point in y'all career. When you going? Like, if you ain't ready now, you ain't never gonna be ready. Man, fighters be scared of other fighters. Al, fighters be scared of other fighters. I've heard it personally, so it's not like this. This ain't like a foregone conclusion. Then on top of that, they are scared of losing because it fucks up their reputation. It fucks up their stock. You know what I mean? Their pay goes down. Like, I get it. Like, I've read these contracts before. They try to do that to T.O. They try to make T.O. sign some shit in the lead up to the Loma fight where if he lost, this would be like his new pay. He like, what? Y'all niggas really think I'm gonna lose? Like, I get why some fighters don't want to fight. But, you know, for the longest, the whole thing has been, oh, the money, you know, if the money right, I'll fight anybody. Well, Turkey Al-Sheikh showing y'all niggas that it ain't all about the money to y'all. There's more to it than that. Because Turkey probably thinking coming into the game, oh, the reason why these big fights not happening is because of money. Oh, I got money. Let's get these motherfuckers the money that they looking for. You go ahead and you get these niggas the money, then you realize, oh, it's not that simple. What's the real reason? Then you start really figuring shit out. Like these niggas be scared of shit that they be scared of losing like they status. They be scared of losing they, you know, I hate to say the word because it's really played out nowadays. They're scared to lose their aura, their reputation. You know what I'm saying? But more than anything, and that's the thing, like, would you really be scared of losing your status? Would you really be scared of losing a fight overall if you felt like, if you truly in your heart knew that you was better than this fighter or you felt like that fighter ain't have nothing for you? Would you be scared to fight a nigga if you knew deep down in your heart you was gonna fuck that nigga up? Not really. So it's something about that fighter because you may be scared of losing, you may be scared of losing your pay and all that. Yeah, that might be true. But you also got to take into consideration that there's something that fighter brings to the table that makes you fear losing those things. So it all comes back to the opponent that's in front of you. You fear something about that opponent that makes you fear losing it all. It's simple. To me, at least. It just be killing me like, oh, these fighters ain't scared of each other. Shit. Y'all niggas a damn fool if y'all don't think that. These niggas want to act like they not scared. They want to give you the idea that they ain't scared, but they do. They do be. Yeah, Al, I agree with you. Al made a great comment. He said sometimes they scared to lose their status and think they pick an easier guy, but sometimes those guys get a lucky shot and make them look worse. Facts. So you over here trying to take the least amount of risk possible. You roll the dice and you still get fucked over. Jared Hurd tried to do that. He could have fought Jermell Charlo right away. Right? But he was like, oh, I've been fighting all southpaws lately, so I'm gonna do a tune-up with an orthodox. You bitch ass nigga, you've been fighting orthodox your whole life. Who the fuck need a tune-up for an orthodox? Yo, I just fought 3 southpaws in a row. I think he fought like Austin Trout. He fought Landy Lara. Probably fought somebody else. I don't remember. But he had fought like a couple southpaws back to back. Then in the lead up to the Jermell Charlo fight that they was cooking up, this nigga gonna say, you know, I ain't fight a right-handed fighter in a while, so I'm gonna do this, you know, I'm gonna take this tune-up against this orthodox dude to get ready for Jermell. Nigga, you been like, who needs a tune-up for orthodox? That is literally like that's like 95, like 90 to 95% of fighters in the world today. This is a right-hand dominant world, nigga. You got some southpaws here and there, but who the fuck needs a tune-up to get ready for like a default setting? Who needs that? Like, Jesus Christ. So he thought J-Rock was easy work and got beat the fuck up, and Jared Hurd never been the same after that. When he could have just fought, for all that, you should have just fought Jermell, took your ass whooping, because Jared was going to get his ass whooped by Jermell. He was going to get stopped. You know what I'm saying? He got hit way too much for Jermell. You should have just got your ass whooped by Jermell, walked away with a big bag, and went about your life that way. But you got your ass whooped for a tune-up. Got your ass whooped in a tune-up and fucked up a generational bag that you would have got from Jermell. That fight was more significant, too. It would have been for Undisputed, I think, too. It would have been for Undisputed. Jermell had the WBC. You had the rest of the belts. Nigga, what are you doing? I still scratch my head about that shit to this day. No lie. Yeah. Munguia, same shit. Munguia, they've been holding his hand so long. That's all he got used to. Like my son, right? My son 2 years old. Y'all already know. I talk about my son all the time. This nigga, he loves to hold my hand. And like whenever we walking, he holds my hand. No matter where we going, where we walking to, he grew accustomed to holding my hand. Why? Because I instilled that in him. So it's the same shit like that. When you've been protected your whole career, or you've been riding with training, you've been riding with the training wheels the whole time. Niggas be scared to take them training wheels off because they scared of what may happen as a result of that. Jaime Munguia has been getting carried his whole career, protected his whole career. That when niggas, that's all he grew accustomed to. He like, man, I'm gonna just keep taking these tune-ups. Like, fuck it. Then you ran into Bruno Sarase, who you thought was a tune-up. Look, Jaime, he ain't got no power. You can walk through him. Oh yeah, I'm gonna fight this nigga in Mexico. He undefeated too. That gonna look good on my record. Then you go and you get sparked. You traumatized. You want the rematch. You start training with Canelo and them. Start fucking with the juice. You beat Bruno Sarase in the rematch. But everybody know you dirty now. So ain't nobody putting no respect on your name for that. You don't get no kudos for that. No kudos for that. Mardo Tarachi in the building. What's going on, brother? I ain't see you in a while. He said, ain't it kind of crazy how her and Oscar going through it with two of their biggest stars at the same time? And Turkey basically looked down on both of them. And they both stopped the best fights from happening. I think listen, I don't think Eddie Hearn got anything to do with this situation. Like with this situation between Boots and Virgil, I don't really like. If anything, Eddie Hearn was trying to do everything he can to try to lock in the fight between Virgil and Boots. It's just that Oscar De La Hoya stopped it from happening because he didn't want him to be backdoored. He like, yo, this nigga, until the arbitration says otherwise, he's still my fighter. Why are y'all trying to do business behind my back? But Virgil and his team are selling Eddie Hearn and them like, yo, we free agents. But that hasn't been resolved yet in court for them to determine that. So they low-key try to do some snake shit. So in terms of, Turkey Al-Sheikh in this equation, I don't think he wants to, invest into that fight or make that fight happen because of the situation that's currently going on between him and these other promoters. According to Virgil Ortiz's team, Turkey Al-Sheikh isn't interested in the fight because of the disrespectful shit that Oscar De La Hoya has been saying about Turkey Al-Sheikh, Zuffa Box, and Dana White. And, that whole, them clapback Thursdays. He said them clapback Thursdays are the reason why Turkey Al-Sheikh hasn't really taken it upon himself to invest into that fight. Well, Rick Meridian has been trying to get Turkey behind this fight for a while. Turkey's not responding. Munguia definitely been cherry picking the majority of his career. But for real, the motherfuckers that you got to blame as a collective for this fight not happening is Virgil's team. They can't get it together. Oscar and Meridian don't see eye to eye. Meridian tried to get more money. De La Hoya is trying to pay Virgil only a little bit more than what his minimum on his contract is. And Rick Meridian feels like there's more money in the fight and actually did research and found that there was more money for the fight than what Oscar was offering. Oscar didn't like that because he felt like Meridian was going behind his back. So he tried to cut Rick Meridian out of the, equation. Meridian and Virgil feel like, there was a couple instances where Golden Boy was in breach of contract. They tried to go behind Oscar back to make the fight happen and sign a multi-fight deal. Oscar shuts it down. The judge shuts it down. They're in agreement with Oscar De La Hoya, so now it has to go to arbitration. That shit going to take months, maybe years to get resolved. And then it's like Oscar De La Hoya tried to make the fight happen too, but it was like, it's so confusing. I ain't going to lie, because I can understand both sides. You feel what I'm saying? Like Oscar De La Hoya, he was trying to make the fight happen. So much so that he only offered Virgil just Jerron Ennis. And he said, you don't take the Jerron Ennis, you just going to have to sit the fuck down. Basically. And Meridian was like, nigga, y'all not about to tell us who we going to. Nigga, the contract say you need to offer us 3 opponents. You're not about to just bully us and tell us who we going to fight and how much money we going to take for it. All right, y'all want that Boost fight so bad? The Zone want the fight so bad? All right, we need this much money. Oh, no, we just going to give you $4 million. We not going to give you $7 million. All right, we're going to go explore different markets to see. because you're breaching contracts. So as far as we're concerned, we free agents. So we're gonna go ahead and see, who got the better deals. Matchroom offered the better deal to Rick Meridian and them. They was gonna lock in with them. Shit ain't work out though. So it's really, I said all of that shit to say it's really Virgil and them not being like in tune with each other. That's why the shit ain't happen. I'm not gonna blame Eddie Hearn, Boots, Turkey for this fight not being made. It's just Virgil and them. They got they shit is chaotic over there. I hope that gets resolved ASAP though. I ain't gonna lie. But anyways, man, that's my live for the day. I appreciate everybody that came through and showed love to the channel. If y'all could go ahead and hit the like button on the way out, that'd be very much appreciated. We are on the road to 4K. We wanted to 3,400 mark, looking to hit that 3,500 mark in due time. Shout out to the nation and the mile for making this possible. I tell y'all, I promise y'all this. I will be on live as early as I can tomorrow between 10:30 to 10:40 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to continue cooking up on what's going on in the boxing world, man. I hope you guys have a blessed, beautiful one. I'm up out of here, man. Peace.